All right, welcome to the next lesson. We are actually going to be starting in our Unit 4 workbook, so you should already have this workbook with you. You can go ahead and read the Dear Student part here that just kind of talks about this unit and what will be done in this unit a little bit. We're going to go ahead and get started on the Lesson 1 material. Just a reminder that each lesson is broke up into 2 videos. The first video will go over anything in the green portions, which is labeled important stuff. The next video lesson will go over the stuff to make you think, which the background is white, and the tough stuff, which is in pink. The lesson quiz will be over the additional practice here, such as on page 6. So if you want to go ahead and open your workbook to page 3, we will get started. All right, and in lesson 1, we're going to be doing some mystery grid puzzles, and the whole unit 4 is about area and multiplication and changing that into algebra, relating that to algebra. So here in lesson 1, we're talking about mystery grid puzzles. And in a Latin square, which is what we're going to be working here in the front, every row and column contains one of each element in the title of the puzzle. So these are your rows and these are your columns, and that's the only thing that you're worried about. So each row and each column, in this case, will contain a 1, 2, and 3. Okay. Sort of like a Sudoku puzzle, but a little bit different in that we don't have to worry about other squares. It's just this one. So here you can see it has 3, 2, 1, 2, 1. This one needs a 3. And now we can go down the columns. So this has a 3, 2, so this must be a 1. This has a 1, 2, so this must be a 3. And then this has 3, 1. This has 3, 1, so this must be a 2. Okay. And hopefully maybe you can see a pattern here. You got 3, you got 2s, you got 1s, you got 3s, you got 2s. So there's some additional patterns in these squares as well. Okay, this is 4, 5, and 6. So we have a 4, we have a 5. This row needs a 6. We can also look at the columns. This has 4, this has 5, so this needs a 6. And this has a 5, 6, so this must be a 4. And then 5, 6, this must also be a 4. Checking your column here, 4, 5, 6. Okay, again, you've got a pattern. 4, 6s, 5s, 4s, 6. Okay, and you notice there's 3 of each number here. 5, 7, 9, Latin square. All right, so here we have 9, 7, so this must be a 5. We can work this column. 9, 5, we need a 7. 5, 7, this is supposed to be a 9. And look, you can see your pattern emerge. You got 9, 9, 9, 5, 5, 7, 7. So this must be a 7. And this must be a 5 to continue that pattern. Math is a lot about patterns. And if you can recognize the patterns, you can kind of skip over some of the arithmetic stuff. We can change Latin squares from just numbers to letters or shapes or symbols or just kind of whatever. So this is an ABC Latin square. And it only has ABC here, okay? So you kind of have some leeway in what you need to pick. But remember, every row and column can only have an A, B, or C. So like I can't go A, B, C because this column already has a B in it. So this must be C, and this has to be your B. Because this column also couldn't have the C. So we got C, B, this must be A. B, B, this must be a B. Just continuing those patterns, you got C and C, A and A. Whoop, not a 9. So we got that pattern of A, C's, B, A, C. Kind of tells you how to draw a star. I don't draw my star this way. Everybody says I draw my star upside down. But just do your best on drawing the star. Here we have a circle, star, and a triangle is the other one. Okay, so we have a circle, we have a star. So I can't put a star here, but I can't put a circle. So the only thing left here would be a triangle. Then if I go down here, this has to be a circle. I have a circle, triangle, so this has to be a star. Star, this row needs a star, so we're going to put star down here. Circle, star, triangle, star, then this needs a circle. So circle, 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 this needs a triangle. So it's all about just finding what they need. Again, you got your pattern, triangle, circles, stars, triangles, circle. And we can grow these things bigger. Here we have 1, 2, 3, 4 in this case. Okay, so you got a little bit more here to look at and to try. So for example, if we look at the 3s here, so this column has a 3, this one has a 3. I need a 3 in this row, but I can't put a 3 here because there's a 4, so the only place is right there for a 3. And then you got 3 in this row, 3 in this row, 3 in this row. You need a 3 in this one, but 3 has to go here because it can't go here. So you got 4, 3, 2. So this has to be a 1. Okay. You need a 1 in this one, but right now it can go in either spot. So we're going to skip it for now. This column needs a 1. It can't go here because of this one, so it must go down here. Which means in this column, you can't have a 1. You can't have a 1. You can have a 1 right there. So 1, 3, 4. So this is missing a 2. 1, 2, 3. This is missing a 4. And everything after those first couple just kind of falls into place. 1, 3, 4. So this needs a 2. 1, 2, 3. This needs a 4. And 1, 2, 3, 4. And again, you can check all your rows and all your columns to make sure it has everything. Okay, do you notice a pattern in this one maybe? Okay, take a second to look at it. Is there a pattern? I notice you got 4 and then 4s. 1, 2, 3, get a couple 2s. I don't really notice a pattern right off like we did with the 3 by 3. Okay, we got shapes here. So take a look at this and see this one needs a star up here, but I can't put a star here because of this one. So I got to put a star here. So you got a star, it needs a square now. So square is going to go there. So you got star, square, circle, triangle. Okay, this column needs a star, but it can't go here. It can't go here or here. So this is the only place here for the star. And I've got a star in every column and every row now. So we can kind of check that one off. We're done with that. Okay, so the next thing might be to put a square somewhere. So these two are fine. Okay, so if I put a square in this row, it can't go here or here or here. So it has to go here, leaving this space for the triangle. I got a square, a square, a square. So that means this down here has to be this square, leaving a circle for right there. That means this column needs a triangle. This row needs a circle. This column needs a triangle. And this row needs your circle. Now here we can see that we have a pattern. It's very easy to see. You got circles, stars, squares, triangles, circles, stars, square. I think in this one, they kind of set it up to where a pattern wouldn't have occurred. Although I might have been able to get one, it's not always possible. Okay, X, Y, Z. So you got a Z, a Y, and that's about it. So if we use the pattern from the 3 by 3, I could get this diagonal to be Y's. I have a Z, so that means Z's would go here, and the other ones would be X's. Okay, and you got this pattern, X, Z, Y, X, Z. Here, again, they leave a couple here, and we can kind of play with it just a little bit here. So they give me this diagonal as R, and you might say, well, can this be all T's? Okay, well, if this is all T's, then this would need to be S's, which means this would also need to be an S, which that can't happen. So I can run with this diagonal as R's, S, 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 and then you have a T, T, and a T. Or if you don't notice the pattern, that's fine. You can just kind of try to input some values here and there. Okay, J, K, M, M, M. So we're going to put an M here. That's the only place for it. A J is here. So we'll put J over here in these two. And it looks like these others have to be K. D, E, F, G. Okay, so this diagonal is kind of messed up. I got G, G, and F. But if we look at these diagonals, I have a lot of blanks. So we're going to use those diagonals. I'm going to put in, I can't put an E here because there's already an E there. So it doesn't look like we can quite do our pattern that we hoped for. So on this one, we're just going to have to do some trial and error, I think. Okay. So let's start with this row right here. It needs an F and a D. Well, an F cannot go here, so F must go there, and a D must go there. Okay, let's jump up to this one. It needs a D, but D can't go there, so it has to go there. So D, it needs an E, F, G. So you got E, E, E. This needs an E, and it's got to go here. So this column needs a D. Okay, D, E, F. Can I put an F here? I can't put an F there, so F. And then that must be G. D, E, F, G. And this needs a D. Okay, let's see if a pattern emerged. I don't see any pattern really on the diagonal. 0, X, and 1. Okay, a little bit different. So I can do my 0, 0, and your 1, 1. This has to be 0. So then these open ones will be X's. And again, you can check your rows and your columns to figure out what is what. Okay, if we flip the page over to page 4, we got another type of puzzle. Okay, algebraic habits of mind, puzzling it out. Expert problem solvers look for easy places to start so they can solve problems without doing unnecessary work. Keep track of what you know and plan your next move strategically using the discoveries you have already made. This kind of thinking is good for solving problems both in and out of school. So when I solve problems outside of school or even within school, I'm always trying to find a pattern to make things easier so that maybe I don't need to graph something, or I don't need to use a calculator or something that would make it more difficult than it needs to be. So we're going to look at mystery grid puzzles, and here are the instructions. Just like the Latin square puzzle, you may write only the numbers that appear in the puzzle's name. Also, like Latin squares, each row and column must contain all the numbers with no repeats. Each cage, spaced with heavy border, contains a target number and often an operation. The numbers you write in the cage must make the target number using the operation. For example, 20 with a dot means make 20 using multiplication. 7 plus means make 7 using addition. Which order? In a mystery grid 3, 4, 5 puzzle, a cage like this must use the number 3 and 5. No other two numbers will work. We know, so it has a 2 minus here. We know the numbers, but we don't know the order. Either way shown here could be the correct. So it doesn't matter the order that you put the 3 or the 5. Until you are sure which one is correct, write only what you know for sure, like this. So they wrote a 3 and a 5 kind of on this line, so they can put each one either place. Everything you write becomes a new clue. That means 3 and 5 go somewhere in here, but I'm not sure where to put them yet. You will get more information later that will help you figure out which way it goes. Never just guess. It could mess you up. If you just guess, it could make you do more work than you actually need to. So here they had the 2 minus with the 3 and the 5. Again, you can only use these numbers up here. So I have a 7 plus. So a 7 plus, I have to have a 3 and a 4. Okay. So here, I know that a 3 is going somewhere here. So that means this row already has a 3 in it. So over here, I can't put this 3 up here. So this 3 has to go down here, and this 4 has to go up here. You can leave these if you want, or if you would like to erase them, you definitely can. Here I have no operation. This tells me that this box, this cage, is going to be a 4. Okay, so here I have 20 from multiplication. With these numbers, the only way to get 20 is 4 and a 5. But this row already has a 4, so this must be a 5, and this has to be the 4. Which if we go back up here with this 3 and 5, this cannot be the 5 because I already got a 5 down here. So this must be the 3, and this has to be the 5. And then down here, if you get 4 with addition, that's 3 and 5. 3 and 5. This column already has a 5, so it needs the 3, and then this one needs the 5. Okay, again, if you want to just like mark these out, you can. If you want to erase them, you can. It's totally up to you. Okay, number 14, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so you get a 2 with subtraction. I know that's 3 minus 1. Okay, you get 3 with division. That would be 3 divided by 1. Here you get 2 with division. That's a 2 divided by 1. Okay, so here I know that a 1 will go in one of these. So this cannot be a 1. So this must be our 1, and this must be our 2. So this has to be a 3 or a 1, but there's a 1 already in this row. So this must be the 1, and this must be the 3. Here, this is a 1, so I can't have a 1 over here. So this must be a 3, and this must be a 1. Now this cage, okay, This cage is 12 with multiplication. But because it covers more than one row and more than one column, I could have more than one number. And in fact, I know that this is 3, 1. I know that this has to be a 2, and I can figure out the other ones. A 1, a 3, so this has to be a 2, a 1, a 2, a 3. So here I didn't really need the multiplication, but I know that 3 times 2, or 3 times 2 is 6. 6 times 2 is 12. So if it covers more than one row and column, you can use some of the same numbers. All right, so 2, 3, and 5. Okay, to get 20 with multiplication, we're going to say that is 2 times 2 times 5. So 2 times 2 is 4, times 5 is 20. Now, if I were to place these out, I couldn't put a 2 here because it would be in both the column and the row. So I'm going to put a 2 here and a 2 here and the 5 here. So we're all good there. So if this is 2, a 5, that means this must be a 3. And in fact, I need all of the numbers here. 2 times 3, we got 30 with multiplication. So 2 times 3 is 6. 6 times 5 is 30. So I need all of these numbers. Now this can't be the 2 because I got this 2 way over here. So that's a 2 and that's a 5. You get 2, 5. So this has to be the 3. 2, 3. So this must be a 5. And then this also has to be a 3. So you got 2, 2, 2, 3, 3, 3, 5, 5, 5. And notice that pattern. 2, 5s, 3s, 2s, 5s. 3, 1s, 2s, 3s, 1. So the pattern still looks possible in these. Okay, you got a 4 with multiplication. So that might be a 1 times 2 times 2. So 1, 2, and 2. Okay, so here I got 6 with addition. If I add all these up, I get 6. Well, if we look at this pattern here, 2, 2, this should be a 2, a 1, and a 3. With a 9 with multiplication, that would be 3 times 3 times 1. So you got 2, 2, 2, 1, 1, 3. So this is 3, 3, 1, just going off of the pattern we learned in the other one. Okay, mystery grid, they gave us some numbers. Okay, so a 3 and a 5 and a 4. So that's 4 times 20 is 4 times 5. 8 with addition would be 3 and 5, but 5 can't go here. So this is 3, this is 5. This can't be a 5, so it's a 3 and a 5. You got 3, 5. So this has to be a 4, this has to be a 3, and this has to be a 4. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we got 11 with addition there. Once you kind of get going on a few of them, they all kind of fall into place. Okay, this one's a little bit harder here. So I have 13 with addition. So 13 with addition is 6 and 7. 48 with multiplication, that would be 8 and 6. Okay, so 6 goes in one of these, so 6 cannot go here. So this has to be an 8. And this has to be a 6. Okay, so I got that. 42 with multiple, so I have 6, 8, so this has to be a 7. A 7 times 6 is 42. Well, that means this can't be a 6, so this has to be a 7, and this will be your 6. So you got 6, 7, 8. You got 6, 7, 8, 6, 7, 8. And again, you have 7, 6s, 8s, 7s, 6. So your pattern is still there. If you would like, you can definitely get working through the additional practice on page 6 here. You should be able to do all of these already in prep for your quiz. And you can always work ahead on this next stuff to make you think and tough stuff if you would like to do that as well. Next time we'll be going through lesson 2. If you have any questions, feel free to email me. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next lesson.